Fruits and seeds. How do fruits form? Once fertilization of an angiosperm is complete, nutrients flow into the flower tissue, supporting the development of the embryo. Then the ovary walls thicken to form a fruit that encloses the developing seeds. A fruit is a mature angiosperm ovary. As seeds mature, fruits vary in their structure. The term fruit applies to the sweet things we usually think of as fruit, such as apples and strawberries. However, some specific foods, such as peas, corn, rice, and tomatoes, which are commonly called vegetables, are also fruits. Why is that? The ovary wall surrounding a fruit may be fleshy, as it is in grapes and tomatoes, or tough and dry, like the shell that surrounds a peanut. The peanut itself is the seed. How are seeds dispersed? The seeds of many plants, especially those encased in sweet, fleshy fruits, are often eaten by animals. Many seeds are covered with tough coatings, allowing them to pass through an animal's digestive system unharmed. The seeds then sprout in animal feces. It's a fertilizer. These fruits provide nutrition to the animal and also help the plant disperse its seeds, possibly in areas where there is less competition with the parent plants. Animals also disperse many dry fruits, not necessarily by eating them. Dry fruits sometimes have burrs or hooks that catch on an animal's fur, enabling them to be carried many miles from the parent plant. Seeds dispersed by wind or water are typically contained in lightweight fruits that allow them to be carried in the air, or in buoyant fruits that allow them to float on the surface of water. A dandelion seed, for example, is attached to a dry fruit that has a parachute-like structure, allowing the seed to glide considerable distances away from the parent plant. Some seeds, like a coconut, are dispersed by water. Coconut fruits are buoyant enough to float in seawater for many weeks, enabling the seed to reach and colonize even remote islands. So, what influences seed dormancy and germination? Environmental factors such as temperature and moisture can cause a seed to end dormancy and germinate. Many seeds will not grow when they first mature. Instead, these seeds enter a period of dormancy, during which the embryo is alive but not growing. This is typically waiting an optimal time for germination. Germination is the resumption of growth of the plant embryo. The effect of temperature on the germination of Erasima seeds is shown in the graph. So two different storage temperatures, stored at 24 degrees C and then stored at 3 degrees C, which is close to freezing. So seeds from Clinton, Ontario, stored at 3 degrees, germinate at a higher percentage rate than those stored at 24 degrees. But seeds from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, are almost equivalent. Before germinating, seeds absorb water, which causes food storing tissues to swell and crack open the seed coat. Through the cracked seed coat, the young root emerges and begins to grow. The shoot, the part of the plant that will emerge above ground, emerges next, as seen in the germinating corn seed below. Germinating seed, and then primary root, and the young shoot grows to foliage leaves. Cotyledons are flowering plants' first leaves. These store nutrients and they transfer them to the growing embryo as the seed germinates. Monocots have a single cotyledon, which usually remains underground while it passes nutrients to the young plant. The growing monocot shoot emerges from the soil protected by a sheath. The sheath protects this growth as it comes up through the soil and becomes that young shoot. In dicots, which have two cotyledons, there is no sheath to protect the tip of the young plant. Instead, the upper end of the shoot bends to form a hook that forces its way through the soil. So this bends, forming that hook. This protects the delicate tip of the plant. As it grows, it straightens and emerges into the sunlight. These two initial cotyledon leaves, then later the foliage leaves appear. Seed dormancy can allow for long distance dispersal and for seeds to germinate under ideal growth conditions. For some species, a period of cold temperatures during which the seeds are dormant is required before growth can begin. The period of cold that is required is long enough that seeds will not germinate until the dangerous winter season has passed. Sometimes only extreme environmental conditions can end dormancy. Some pine trees, for example, produce seeds in cones that remain sealed until the high temperatures generated by forest fires cause the cones to open. The high temperature both activates and releases the seeds, allowing the plants to reclaim the forest quickly after a fire.